Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning into my podcast, Xena Life as a Dominatrix. This is episode 29. This will be aired in the new year, January 10th, 2023. 2023. Wow, can't believe it. So today, I am doing a Q&A with my friend Hoodman. Hi,
Hello.
Hoodman.
Hey, Mistress Xena. Hey, everyone.
How are you doing today?
Oh, pretty good. We had some fun earlier,
Yeah, I beat his ass.
yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Just really resting during these holidays, which is nice. I haven't been doing too much work, which I'm glad. It's been a busy year, so it's nice to just relax.
Good. Yeah, we filmed the shoot, and basically it involved ball busting, beat down, and all kinds of kinky shit. So that's awesome, and that's awesome that you were available. So thanks for being available. That was
no
great.
problem. It was good. We had a good time. Had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Like I think we've shot. Let me see. I was going to ask you the first question I had for you, Hoodman, today is how did we meet?
And I'm pretty sure I was writing because I think this is when I think it was at a DomCon Atlanta. I don't remember even. I want to say it was 2008. I don't remember the exact year.
Okay.
2008, 2009, and we talked about shooting some things. We talked about just in general. I think also Mistress Simone and Alexandra Sadista were also there, and we all just had a blast, and it was a good time. And we built in some good Chicago connections,
Yeah.
And we've been talking still consistently since then. So
good. Yeah, that's good. Great to keep in touch because sometimes during the conventions, people will hand out the business cards and be like, "Here's my card. So when you're in, my city, give me a holler." And then I either lose the card or I forget, but that's why networking is very important. Marketing is very important, and
definitely.
And I think that was 2012.
Oh, okay. Like I said, I don't it was a while ago. I don't remember exactly, but I also did my research. I was like, oh, I definitely want to play with you. So that was another thing.
Where did you do your research?
Bizarre Cinema. There we go. Bizarre Cinema.
Yeah, and on the internet, I met so many people through MySpace, and then that faded away to Friendster beat briefly, but that was that was a stupid I don't know. I think it was just stupid, and then Facebook, and the rest is history. But it's great to keep in touch with people for sure.
I agree.
So, how or what inspired you to be Hoodman?
So this is funny how the original purpose is very simple, nothing fancy, but it's really to cover identity and job safety and things like that, so but then it kind of became its own thing, honestly. It was there were these hilarious guys, I don't remember when I met them, but they were so excited already from whether it was videos or just my general appearance and talking to so many different doms. People were like, yo, what if Hoodman is a superhero? And they got so excited, able to take the pain, able to get himself stuffed into a pretzel.
I love it.
So they got so excited, and I was and at this point it's funny because you get those people who say oh, I'll never shoot with someone with a mask or something like that. People make exceptions for me because it's become such a thing. It's oh, it's Hoodman. I get it. And so I think it's been fun to see the transitions as well, especially from my times in LA versus my times here in New York. I think the progression has been fun to see, but also I just thought that was so hilarious. They were so excited. They were which still happens. Random submissive guys are oh yeah, it's Hoodman, yeah. And I was oh, okay. It's weird to have fans of what the submissive stuff you do.
Nice. That's great. That's great to have fans and recognition, and they'll recognize you, and you inspire people to even be on film and to try out a certain fetish, whether it's your balls getting beat up, and then they'll the slave will ask their partner or mistress, hey, I want to try what Hoodman experienced on film. And it's great. And as long as everything's safe, sane, and consensual, that's very important. And you are kind of like a superhero. I'm kind of like a superhero. We're all a bunch of superheroes.
Yeah, it's especially when you've been at it over 10 years, you get into like, people are like, oh, you're still there in a sense. So people are like, some people get excited. Like I was like happy when you got around here. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's been great to have you here. But also like, you were known long before I met you too. So it was like, I think that was actually one of my original things. I would only originally see doms who had experience, and people were like, you don't want like the youngs? I was like, no, I want women who like, one, I like older women. So that's one thing that's in itself. But two, I was like, I want to make sure these ladies have experience. If I'm going to be giving them my body to have as a canvas, I would like to make sure they know what they're doing.
That's a great point. And also, it's good for younger people. Like when I started at age 19, it was good for me to learn to use somebody as a canvas, and it was a stepping stone and learning experience. And but it's good for the new doms to also learn what they're doing, because sure, they'll be inspired by like a movie they saw, or a boyfriend, and they're inspired to be a dominatrix, and that's great too. And it's age ain't nothing but a number. What Aaliyah said. Yeah, and it's amazing that we're both living here in New York City.
I agree. That is funny how that works out in a sense, because that goes into like, sometimes you get people who move and you get into you're like, wow, we're actually here at the same time now. Like, so it's kind of fun.
Yeah. And then your preference with older women. Yeah. And some people like older women. I'm like, I am older. Wow. Like, I don't know.
I mean, you don't look at it. She looks younger than me. So, I think the thing for me is just, it's not just like, it's just the experience piece, right? Like, and that works in general if like people in general, you want people to know what they're doing. So like,
exactly.
And when I was young and starting, because I started fairly young, like 20, I want to say.
Nice.
That's who I went for. A lot of these women were in their 30s or older. And like, again, people were like, wow, you're young. I was like, no, people who know, because I saw plenty of young people who didn't know what they were doing. And like, that doesn't make me feel confident versus what happens now though sometimes is I do get impressed by some younger doms, because I mean now I'm older, so now sometimes someone who's like maybe like 24, 25 is like actually does know what they're doing.
Got it.
And it's because usually the reason why is because they had a mentor.
Yeah,
like it's usually there was a mentor
for sure. And that's so important, to have a mentor, somebody to look up to. And it's so important, it really is. And I had mentors, and you had mentors before?
I feel in a lot of ways I have. Well, one thing I did find very interesting with all the cities I went to, like, or live, there was always, and this was like something I realized at some point a couple of years ago, is I always had a black femdom matriarch who kind of looked out for me in every city I was in. It wasn't even like conscious of me until like probably recently, but I was like, Houston, I had someone. LA, I had someone. Atlanta, I had someone. New York, I had someone.
Nice.
And it was kind of like, I realized what it was is like, while like, yes, I love being around them and playing with them and having a great time and hanging out with them, they also were actually protecting me. Nice. They were like making sure like, like in case like someone young and new didn't know what they're doing, they were like, they might have been there as well. Or be like, not her.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And it was kind of really interesting, like, to see that. So in some ways that feels like a mentor, but also like I've learned a ton of the other slash in the sense from just all the people I played with. Like a lot of people have taught me all kinds of things.
That's great.
So
it's fun. Always a learning, always learning,
Right.
whether 10 years of experience, 20 years of experience, is always something to learn. And that's so important. And that's great that you lived in 4 cities?
Yeah, 4 cities actually. Wow. So, I mean, well, if you include, 5 if I include San Diego.
Oh my goodness.
But again, I also had a protector there too. So nice. Everywhere.
That's good.
It's very, very interesting how that worked out though. It's cool.
That's awesome. So next question. How did you get into BDSM?
So it's funny. I like to say this is a tangent of a tangent. So I got to give you the whole, story, and it all makes sense. So,
Okay.
American Gladiators, that show in the '90s.
Oh, I remember that show.
Right.
I
As
used to
someone,
watch that.
as when I was young, I would watch a lot. It's funny. I'd watch with my mom, and I'm sure she had no idea. But I'd watch, and I would watch mainly the women's competition because these were muscular women.
Yeah.
Young me was like, oh my god, like, this is amazing. These are like, there's women like this. They're great. Like one of my favorites was Blaze, this gorgeous, fit black lady who would like destroy her opponents in Powerball, and I thought it was the hottest thing
Nice.
ever. Years later, like we're talking, maybe college level stuff, when I actually can like do whatever, I learned that some of these women did sessions, and through some of those muscle women did sessions, some of them did BDSM sessions.
Whoa.
So I was like,
Nice.
that was cool. And then the crazy thing is, when I was about to get into it, Goddess Severa, talking about moving people, Goddess Severa moved from New York to San Diego. And I thought it was the craziest thing that she went specifically San Diego. And I was like, here she is. She's tall, 6'5", she's fit, have like BDSM experience. And I basically had a BDSM 101 with her. Very good friend. I actually saw her this summer, and we just hung out and chatted about life.
Nice.
But yeah, she was great with it, and I got to have a lot of experience there, and I learned a lot of BDSM things. But I also learned like I liked it, and then from there, what I did a lot in LA was I would experiment. I'd say like, oh, let me try this new thing, let me try that new thing, and some things I liked, some things I didn't. But I thought it was interesting how it started, where I was like, oh wow, like you could actually have met these muscle women. If I was there, like an adult in the '90s, I could have actually met them. And then they, some of them did BDSM, and then now I'm at the point where I am like meeting these muscular women and having great times with them.
That's great.
And some of them do BDSM, so it works out.
Fantasy becomes reality.
Exactly, which is cool. It took a while, but it's been fun. And then LA, I want to say at 20, instead of starting in 20, is I think that's when I started to do like munches and even play parties as well in LA. So that's why I say I've been about it in this 15 years or so.
Nice. So a munch is a group of people in the BDSM community, or they're novices, and they basically just hang out at a restaurant or a bar, and they just hang out and get to know one another. And some people are very shy, some people are very talkative, and then after the restaurant or bar, then they have fun with one another or with their partner. But it's a great introduction of different people in the lifestyle.
Definitely. I mean, I went to a munch every city I went to. Like one of the first things I did was go to a munch. Nice. They got more femdom oriented, of course, but still, like I went because I was like, I'm new to the city. Let me figure out the community a little bit and maybe meet some people. And it's also just a nice like low key setting where you don't have everyone in fetish gear, and it's like I'm casually here to like chat at the restaurant, and maybe we'll talk about some interesting stuff, or maybe not. Like, hey, here's someone who you can talk to about whatever.
Nice. And you go to munches in New York, or you throw parties,
so
right?
I often throw parties nowadays, but I haven't been to a munch in a while. That's technically not true, because there was one recently at a dungeon actually where they had it like a simple munch for the first couple of hours, and then they were like, if you want to go, you can go. If you want to stay and play, we can play. So it was like a munch and play thing they had going on. Nice. And like, for the first couple of hours, everyone had their clothes on, everything, and they were just meeting people and chatting. Nice. And I was there, and people would just ask me random stuff, and I'd just chat here and there. And then we played. Cool. And then people asked me even more stuff, of course, because I played
communication. That's good. And that's great that you're open to answering questions. Yeah. And a lot of novices, they have all these questions, and it's a learning curve for sure. And then when you want to look for a dungeon or a munch, There's a website called FetLife where you could find all this information. I'm sure you're on FetLife.
I'm definitely on FetLife. Hoodman, been there for a while. Very, very simple to find. I looked out. Like, it's a very simple name, and it's been there for ages.
Nice, nice. Yeah, that was another question I had for you, but you answered it. How old were you when you were introduced to BDSM? Was it age 20?
Yeah, I'd say 20 was when I was active. I want to say 19 was probably when I may have done a wrestling session or something with Muscle Woman, like right before, like, but I don't think I met Severa until I was 20. And then, but also like, because I would go home for college and then I'd go back up to LA. And I think what happened at 20 is I actually started talking to kink people in the community.
Nice.
So because I know it was before 21, but 20 is when I definitely started being like, let me go to this munch, or like, let me go to this, like even if it was like a kink, I want to say vendor place where like people were just selling kink stuff. I was like, let me go figure out what is this, you know? So that was, I started definitely around 20 or so, I want to say.
Nice, nice. And regarding like kink conventions, the next one that's coming up is Fetish Factory, New Year's Eve, and they throw huge parties and all kinds of kinky people in South Florida attend. And it's for somebody that's new to the kink scene, I would recommend something much smaller.
Yes.
But it's like it's an overload of action going on from one corner to another, and like it's so wild. Those parties are. Have you ever been?
I've never been. You know what's so funny is not this year, but I think last year, a bunch of people, specifically not. I'm talking not BDSM fetish, but in the wrestling community, they all went and they shot with a bunch of people in Florida.
Nice.
Got a bunch of clips. I was like, yeah, it sounded like a great time.
Nice.
I think with me, it's very hard to get me to domestically travel. You got to have a really good reason to go, because I don't travel domestically a lot because I'm just kind of like, I did a lot of that. I'm okay. I'll travel for my partner all the time, but other than that, it's like,
Got it. I understand.
So I did a lot of domestic travel in my 20s, though. Tons. Saw a lot of different cities in the country. And then now that I've done it a lot, I was like, oh, okay.
What's a city that in the United States that you've never been to but you would want to travel to?
Oh, wow.
Since you're an avid traveler.
That's hard because I've been to almost all the cities I want. I guess you would say, even though people don't speak highly of it, I guess you could say Kansas City, maybe, or no,
okay.
Only because there's a community there is Fort Lauderdale. That might be another two, just because there's always people there doing.
You've never
stuff.
been to Fort Lauderdale?
Never been to Fort Lauderdale.
It's nice. The weather I would want to go right now because I'm sure it's warmer. But actually, Florida like has been like fucking cold at night.
That's what I've heard. So, but see, the funny thing is, I've been to all the other cities in Florida, right? Like I've been to Tampa, Miami, Orlando. I've been to all those. So I think that's the thing is like most cities I wanted to go to, like I've been to, because my partner will say this: if I really want to do something, I'm going to do it.
Nice.
Like,
that's
which
awesome.
is like a big thing. So I think where I would put like, or maybe even like probably more Yellowstone might be an area or something, you know,
okay.
like national parks in that
Never been.
lovely Midwest ridge where people the flyover area. I was like,
I've
never been to those, so you know.
Same here.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we've shot lots of movies together in the past and in the present, and you've shot with many other doms. What's your favorite type of content to shoot?
So this has definitely evolved over time. Like early years, I kind of went with whatever like the dom or person I was shooting with wanted. I don't think I had as much like confidence or agency in myself to really know what I wanted. There wasn't a reputation. I didn't get paid. I didn't keep the videos, anything like that. And versus the connections I have now. But then over time, there's the time when I want to say like, once I had been in LA for a while, then I moved to Houston, Atlanta, and then early New York. There started being like doms I was established with, like yourself, who would ask like, hey, what do you think about this shoot? Like, are you down? Like, what about this? Where like I'd actually get asked my opinion on the shoot, which that was a change. Like, and they'd be like, oh yeah. And then at this point, well, now that I actually produce some of this stuff as well, it's very different because I'm kind of very specific now. It's seem to like narrow down because not only because it sells, but also like those are my favorites. It's definitely pegging, and like the beat down stuff is really popular. I like getting beat up. I really do.
Good.
And then the strap on's good. I like that. Like I'm definitely a person who knows like men's G spot is in their butt, and I am 100% for that.
Nice.
And I love it.
Nice.
And then one I like a lot, but it happens here and there, but it's been happening a bit more recently as more people learn, is bondage. I really like bondage a lot, but it's also because I know it's a different. I don't shoot it as much because it's a different mindset going forward. I know it wouldn't sell for me, but I also know like the time involved in bondage is very different versus shooting. But I do like it a lot. It's just I think I like it more for photography, I want to say, if anything, than video. But it's funny how things have evolved over time, especially now with even people I know. It's like, hey, what do you think on shooting this? What do you think on that? Versus young me was like, we're shooting this, and some stuff would surprise the hell out of me. I actually look at some of my younger stuff, and I was like, I can't believe I shot that. Like, I don't know how I could deal with that. So
nice.
It's
That's
funny.
your younger self, and this is your present self. And what's your clip store called?
So as you're gonna see here, I like a lot of alliteration. It is a consistent factor. So this one is Hoodman's Hijinks, which took a while to figure out how to spell hijinks.
How do you spell it?
Hijinks.
Ooh.
So I was thinking it had the X, but it doesn't. It's like a whole thing, and like even how to spell that. But that works. And actually, currently the pegging is what people are going for. I mean, the beat downs people love, but like pegging right now is people are like, yes.
Yay.
It's because they want to see my butt.
You have a nice butt.
Thank you. So do you.
Thank you. And then, like, for a man to take it up the ass is so hot. And, like, just watching it and what size he could take and how many, like, a woman putting her cock in his mouth and then another woman putting her cock up his butt. So it's like a spit roast, double team, tag team, gangbang, all that. It's
probably one of our first clips ourselves, even.
Oh, yeah. Me plus 2 women plus you. Yeah. So 4 of us in Hotlanta.
There we go.
What did I call it? Hotlanta? Oh, I can't remember.
I don't know. It was a good clip, though. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
So the next question... I know I'm going to change the topic from butt stuff to another topic. So you write, and that's awesome. And
you write too, which is also awesome. I need to go get your book. I need to do that.
So what is your novel about, and what's your novel about, and what's the title of your novel?
So the cool thing is, at this point, like I was saying, not like I was saying, but I've written about 3 books or so now. And they're all around a group of characters. And it's kind of funny, when you get into your book lore, it's fiction. You really get into your characters. And it's cyberpunk setting is a big thing. Afrofuturistic. Based on the times when I went to Ghana. And I used a lot of ideas and influence in Ghana. And originally because, like, I thought my cultural heritage was mainly Ghanaian, but it's actually mainly Nigerian.
Oh, wow.
But, so that was cool. I mean, I'm actually a quarter Nigerian, actually, I learned.
Wow.
Which was really cool. But
it's awesome.
I still used a lot of the Ghanaian influence stuff. So it's about, the first book is, so it's the Surge series. Again, alliteration. So the Surge series, and it's about, the first book is about a detective trying to figure out what the Surge is, trying to figure out her own powers with the Surge, and like people wanting other people killed or people for power. The second book, which is a prequel, is about the detective's old gang. The lady's name is Afia Osuwu, and her old gang is a whole thing, and they deal with stuff. And then the third book is kind of more, I want to say, like a buddy road trip adventure with a couple of other women in it. But the cool thing is it's very Afrofuturistic, nice. Cyberpunk, very LGBTQ. I think almost nobody is straight in my books, which makes sense because I'm queer. So
nice.
That's just kind of thing. I think, and also I realized at one point I was like, I should probably write a man in this book somewhere too, because almost everybody is either femme presenting, cisgender, non-binary, or transgender. There's almost no masculine presenting people almost
what
in the
about
thing.
your next book, maybe?
Well, I was able to, like, in the other books, incorporate it more. Like, I actually
got it.
had more people who were masculine presenting, but I also was like, I think it was me kind of just being like, well, this is what I would do for my world. Like, it'd be a bunch of powerful women.
Nice. That's awesome. And you write what you know, and
Exactly.
and what inspired you to write novels?
So what's funny is, the pandemic, we all had a lot of free time.
Oh yeah.
And one of the things I put in a schedule, therapists said definitely get a schedule, so I made a schedule. And one of the things I said was writing, because I do like to write. I genuinely, even before the books, I love writing. So I wrote some short stories based on like some parts of the books, showed them off to friends, and people were like, hey, these are kind of fun. I was like, well, let's keep writing. Let's make a full book.
For sure.
And then so I used a lot of my love for sci-fi. I'm a huge sci-fi nerd. Huge.
Nice.
And I got a lot of different inspiration. Like some are obvious, like Black Panther and Blade Runner.
Okay.
Those are obvious. But then some are like, there's something I like from this anime, Akira. There's the Fremen from Dune, the group there. So those are actually related to characters I have in the book. So there's actually a ton of influences throughout the books. And one of my friends is really good at noticing a lot of them. Like he's spot on noticing them. But I also just laugh and see what people notice, because there's stuff in there I'm like, this is a reference, but I know someone would probably not get this. But it's a lot of sci-fi. I love sci-fi, so I wanted to write sci-fi.
And that's awesome. What a great goal, accomplishment to have. Where can people find your novels? 'Cause that's important,
Yeah. So actually, I've been able to. At first I was experimenting out of Amazon, but I was like, I fell in. I was like Amazon, because that's what all of you keep asking. That's where you go to. So they're on Kindle and paperback, all on Amazon.
Nice.
Surge series. Might be a bit easier to say like Harvester's Diaspora, the second one, or Way to Akom, but it should find I can find it when I Google Amazon Surge series, and I'm not giving my government name, of course, but should be able to find it because it's all together and it's a set of 3. It has the 3 of them have the trilogy has their own page, and then you can find each one individually if you want. So. Yeah.
And it's like comic book style, kind of, sort
of.
Right?
The cool thing about the artist is, so the artist, I lucked out. Early on, he got it. He would give me the art pretty quickly. The editor might take a moment, but he'd go quick. The third art, though, the editor got in information before him because he's famous now. Nice. He does artwork for DC Comics now, actually. Poison
amazing.
Ivy comics, sets and stuff. And I was
amazing.
How did I luck upon the artist who's actually a famous artist now? He even showed up in this documentary on something recently. And I literally was hey, I know you're busy. Can I get the third? Can I get a trilogy out of you? And he also kept me at the same price and stuff, because in my head I was like, this may be the last artwork I get from him for a while. And it's true. He took way longer on the last one because he now was famous.
That's amazing.
And it was just, random. The guy got selected by DC and
that's amazing.
Does art for DC. Now I can be like, hey, look, I have this guy's original art.
And then DC, that whole world of comics is so fascinating. It's like $1 billion industry, I believe.
Right.
And it's so fascinating and creative. And there was one director, was it Quentin Tarantino, where he's like, DC, that's not movies. Or some shit like that.
It was Tarantino and Scorsese with the Marvel. They were
it was Scorsese.
The Marvel, and they were because they didn't think it was actual film. And I was like, I get why they're hating. And I was like, I think you guys need to realize, as a film major myself, right? I've seen a ton of your films, both of them.
Right.
They've made a lot of good films. I think the thing is the audience right now, literally what the creators of Marvel have said, and even DC is when people stop wanting this, we will stop. Until then, we're going to keep making it. And as they keep raking in millions and millions of dollars, they're like, why will we stop? I don't know what to tell you guys. People want to see their films of comics come to life. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So one last question. What are some BDSM related or fetish oriented comic books or books that you personally enjoy?
So this was interesting because I didn't really have a good answer for this, and I probably need some recommendations. What is funny is I did want to give a shout out to someone who just kind of inspired a lot of comic ideas as a whole in my books, or even just general thinking, is Brian K. Vaughan.
Mm-hmm.
He is and it's funny, he's like this bald white dude. Like, he's probably like the most stereotypical white guy you could ever think of. But if you want to talk about someone who actually understands diversity, and you're like, how does he get it? Like, he centers women a lot. Like, women are usually the protagonists for his comics. He's naturally diverse.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the thing is, in Saga, his big comic, which is phenomenal. Like, Saga is one of those things where I personally don't want it adapted because I don't think anyone could do it. It is specifically comic, and it's a big sci-fi, super diverse sci-fi. You have a couple parents like who are of different actual alien races, but also different ethnicities, like, you know, skin tone wise. They have a child, and it's this big illegal thing because like the two races that they are having a war. But throughout it, he has like powerful women who are just naturally kicking butt, and a lot of them actually do femdom stuff for their guys.
Nice.
A ton of them do. Like, actually, like at least 3. At least 3 do femdom sequences. Like, one is a guy tied up, and she's giving him like it's torture, but like he's tied up and she's doing a little zapper to give him like pain. Someone else is like literally taking the guy from behind, like a pegging thing, and then someone else, like, she's just the lead in their sexual encounter. So I think that's really cool. I definitely would love more recommendations because I do not know many off the top of my head, but I would definitely know more. I mean, there's some books I know, obviously, but a lot of the books, the old BDSM books, didn't really grab me because it's like tantalizing, and it's very female submissive oriented, a lot of those books.
Yep, got it.
And that, you know, doesn't do it for me. But the more femdom stuff, if people got that, let me know.
There's this book I would recommend to people. Screw the Roses, Send Me the Horns. Or what was it?
Thorns?
Screw the Roses, Send Me the Thorns. Something like that. Oh, I can't remember the author name, but people would, hey, I want to learn more about, you know, BDSM. And I'd recommend this book because I read the book a long time ago. And then there's the Story of O. Midori is a very great...
I met Midori, actually.
Yeah, she's a great rope bondage artist. And if you're curious about rope bondage, she's got great books. And they're all like pretty much found on Amazon. And who else? I'm not going to recommend 50 Shades of Grey.
No, I wouldn't recommend it either. We laugh about it. I mean, BDSM people laugh about it, but vanilla people get excited.
Yeah, but it's a great... It's a book to get lost in, you know. And for housewives, they like reading the book and having book club to talk about the dark world of 50 Shades of Grey. That's their choice. But there's other... books where, you know, you could find on Amazon, and Lee Harrington is another author where he has bondage books as well, and gosh, there's so many. But for new people, novices who are interested in books, Amazon's a great source to learn BDSM and find authors and just read the reviews and see what other people are saying about the book. And I'm on Amazon too, and Amazon's my book's it was fun to write. It's fun to write. I'm working on a second book. It's just
once you do it, it's different. It's you don't think you can necessarily do it, and then you do it, and then you're like, okay.
Yeah.
I can make a book.
Yeah, and then but writer's block comes in play.
Yes.
But I'm like, okay, wintertime I'll be working on the book and all kinds of fun stuff. But it's great to get lost in reading a book or writing a book or photography or art. Art is great. Art is key. And art is very important. BDSM is my kind of art and your kind of art.
True. I didn't think about that. Yeah. I might have to view it a little differently now. That's a really good point. That's a really good point.
I mean, when you know, people have different videos it's art. For sure, it is art, and yeah, I think I asked you all the questions I wanted to, but we have food waiting for us. And after all the beat downs and ball busting, and got me a little hungry. The cardio. Do you get like that? Like cardio workouts?
Definitely get like that. That's why sometimes I usually actually snack something before I work out, actually.
Ah, that's good.
So I'm not starving.
Well, thank you so much for listening to this podcast, Xena Life as a Dominatrix. And where can people find you again, Hoodman?
So a few different places. So for my own podcast on SoundCloud and IG, it's One Last Time for Alliteration. It's Brainy Blurred. So they can find me on Instagram and SoundCloud there. For FetLife, it's Hoodman. Hoodman Hijinks is the clips for sale. Twitter is Hoodman the. It's the @ before the Hoodman, or just the only Hoodman. That's the way. It's a little weirder to find me on Twitter for some reason.
Well, thank you so much, Hoodman, for participating in this.
Thank you, Mistress Xena.
Yeah, you're very welcome. So thank you all for tuning in to this podcast of Xena Life as a Dominatrix. Have a great day.